Think Woody Allen's A Midnight in Paris. We'll be looking at authors like Gertrude Stein, James Joyce, Langston Hughes, Anglo-American authors who congregated in Paris in 1920s and in the 1930s, and the ways in which they interacted with artists like Pablo Picasso, Man Ray.
It was like one of the best things I've ever done. It was a huge decision, but I'm super glad that I went.
We'll be reading so many wonderful works of literature. Ernest Hemingway's A Movable Feast, for example. We'll also be looking at Anita Luce's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. A lot of people don't know that it was a book before it was made into a movie with Marilyn Monroe. And the book is really funny, an ironic take on why Anglo-Americans went to Paris.
I've always dreamed of studying in France. Study abroad is probably the greatest experience I've had in my education, in my academic life, because of the personal growth I gained from it and also the academic growth.
We'll be asking, why Paris? Why did these authors and artists congregate in Paris? What could they write and produce there that they couldn't produce at home? We'll be exploring the connections and friendships that were established between these authors and artists, the kinds of cafes where they congregated, the jazz clubs that they went to, the nightclubs, the parks, and so on.
Field school is such a great medium for you to get to know Europe, because you're being led around Europe by a professional, your professor, and that's so different from just backpacking by yourself or in a regular tour group. You would never know Europe in the same depth as a field school.
You're not just a tourist, you're actually living and studying and interacting with everybody, and you're like a real local.
We will be there. We'll be able to map their routes. We'll be able to retrace the footsteps of the authors, of the characters that they've imagined. And we'll be able to study the ways in which they, through narrative, inscribe space. We'll be looking at the larger picture as well. So the larger political context of the interwar years. You have to be asking what these artists and authors were doing in France at these jazz clubs and at these nightclubs. Were they totally disengaged from the political upheavals of the day, or whether they were engaging with these political upheavals in other ways?
The most nerve-wracking moment was the moment when I knocked on the door of the field school director, telling her that I'm interested and asking her if I can join. But in the end, a sort of a blind courage propelled me to knock on her door, and I believe that could be one of the best choices I have ever made in my life.
And remember, this is just one of the 3 field schools that the English department offers. So there's a France field school that's running in 2015, there's an Italy field school that's running in 2016, and then there's a London field school in 2017.
Really, you never regret the experience. Please don't shy away from it. Don't put all the questions aside and just go sign up.
Check out this email address or contact me at ccolliga@sfu.ca, and we can set up an appointment to have a chat about this field school.
Come join us here!